commemorating this event are his daughter and son-in-law, Casey and Nicholas Pappas, with 3 of Lou's grandchildren, Luke, Marley, and Sadie. Fans, at this time we ask you to please stand. For the singing of our tonight's national anthem, to perform the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome Travis Bain.
A very good evening to everyone. Tonight, your 10th ranked Skating Rebels of UNLV take on the 19th ranked Wildcats of Arizona. And Arizona walked in here to City National last night and got a victory. Just got through talking with a few of the staff on the Wildcats, and they asked me, when was the last time UNLV was swept in this building? It's been quite a while, so we'll see what happens. I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us. Starting lineups for the visitors. Cameron Timor will get the start on defense. Matthew Hull will be his defense partner. It will be Cusinelli, Lowell, and Malafante, or check that, Hull. Will also start for Arizona. For UNLV, Ezekiel Estrada, the freshman, will get the start. Jared Erickson, Brendan Manning, Jake Berry, and Hunter Mazzillo. In goal for UNLV, a change tonight for both teams. Zach Wixon will not get the start. First start for Vince. The second start is in goal as Vince Benedetto as he gets down to make the save. And then for Arizona, and a familiar name, Anthony Chiro will get the start for the Wildcats. Chiro comes in 2 and 3. The goals against just over 3, and the save percentage at 91%. We have a first icing of the night. And for Benedetto, his second start comes in with a 6 goals against average, save percentage 818. So both goaltenders looking to improve, especially Benedetto looking to improve on their numbers. And of course, Chiro, who's been a name that we've talked about quite a bit in this rivalry. And when I start recognizing opposition kids' names, you know that they've been here for a long time. So between Cusinelli and Chiro, I know those kids well. So it's going to be a good one tonight, and UNLV trying to at least get a split with Arizona. And we have a face-off to the right of Benedetto with 30 seconds to go. Sit back and relax. Thanks for joining us from wherever you are, whether it's, we'll start with Florida tonight or the Caribbean as UNLV is off to the races. Here's Malone. Malone looking for a centering pass. Backhander, and Churro down to make the save. Deflection and front as Malone once again just had it on the stick for a second, decided just to dump it in and see if he can get a redirect. UNLV's legs look a little sharper through at least 1 minute tonight. There's Burke. Burke keeps it into Malone. Malone circling around, gets it deflected out of play, but stayed in barely. Referee thought about blowing the whistle, but didn't have to in that case. Plonsky chases it for UNLV. Both teams in a change. Turnover in front. Here's Litwin. Litwin gives it up to Josephson, who's hit along the boards and separated from the puck. Burke just deflects it in down deep, and he goes off for a change. Good job there by Gallant. Gallant once again. Quick skater, quick skate. Quick skater, quick stick rather. And he was showing off his skills on that trip down the ice with just about 2 minutes gone by first period and no score. We'll give that to you as much as we can. Not sure exactly if you could see that. Say that every broadcast, so that's why I give it so much. For head coach Anthony Vigneri Greener, the head coach of UNLV, there's Fehlig. Fehlig with a centering pass, doesn't find its mark, turns it over. Arizona back in transition. Marshall was trying to get some room, but good back check by UNLV, not giving them space. There's a move in front shot and a save by Churro. And a really good move by Flanders, who came in 1-on-3, made a little bit of a juke move, and before he knew it, he had wide open space in front of Churro. And Churro was down to make the big save. For UNLV, certainly they want to get on the board early to set the tone for the rest of the game, especially after losing last night. And head coach Vigneri Greener said tonight is all about special teams, both power play and penalty kill. And talked to assistant head coach Nick Raboni before the game, and he said, well, we got to be better in the penalty kill. And I said, well, how about not go on the penalty kill? So he seemed to be down with that. Only 5 last night, so that was a noticeable decrease from their time on the road last week in Oklahoma. 17-13 to go first period. No score, and this is why this game is important. You can go on the road, as they did last week, and drop to a top 10 team like Central Oklahoma, and not get hurt too much in the rankings, in the coaches' rankings. But if you lose 2 at home, then they start to really take notice. And not only do they have to win this game tonight, as Johnson, big hit up on Hedgecock. And Johnson always looking to make his presence known. Big physical kid, him and his brother, Max. Max Johnson and Alec Johnson. Yeah, we're going to have UNLV is going to go to the penalty box right away. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be a tripping call. So we start the night off on the PK for UNLV. Blaze Arkle will go to the bench for 2 minutes, and Arizona, just like last night, gets the first opportunity. And boy, if they could put some doubt into the mind of the Rebels early, that would be the most preferred way to start this game. Blocked in front, nice job by UNLV. That's something Arizona did last night extremely well, but good job by Gallant. Gallant tried to use his speed to get to that puck, but once again, a kid that's making his presence known, but not a kid that's going to light up the scoreboard, but does so many little things that you wish had a category on the score sheet. Settling it down is Hull. Hull is joined there by Selman. Selman had a goal last night and here's a turnover. 2-on-1. Erickson's shot goes wide. Good anticipation. As Erickson shot, he was in all alone, and don't think it was secure on his stick, but more importantly, UNLV is killing off the power play. And a 2-on-1 opportunity that you can mark that down as a missed opportunity, but they are taking precious seconds off the penalty, which is now down to 40 seconds, 15:28 to go. Settling it down, there's Shively. Shively shoots it in, saved by Benedetto. And Shively was extremely patient, and nobody came out to bother him at all, so he had all day to walk around the perimeter to find an opening. And UNLV finally clears it down the ice. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Benedetto comes up to settle it down, gives it off to Fisher. And Fisher decided to come up the ice, but then Batusov said, why don't you regroup? And basically he's waiting for the penalty. He's killing off his penalty all by himself. So that penalty is over. He killed about 15 seconds of it. Here's a turnover by Gallant. Gallant takes it. Shot. And it's sticked aside. And Rebels still maintain possession in the offensive zone. Shot goes high on check that on Churro. Back out to Gallant. Gallant gets it to the point to Barry. Barry gets a return pass, decides to get it in down deep. Puck loose, but Batusov was there for a second trying to backhand it towards Churro. There's Barry, and Barry gets tripped, no call. And UNLV making her presence known in the offensive end. Marquis gets it out for the Wildcats and tries to dump it in deep. Fails to do so as the Rebels intercept. 6 minutes gone by first period. And still no score from City National. Almost a turnover there, and Barry still trying to make sure UNLV gets possession back. Doesn't. Shot in on Benedetto, and Benedetto makes a save. And then a second shot from the left point. Hits Benedetto on the UNLV logo for a save. And well, if they can keep Arizona to the perimeter, I mean, that really is a key to success all night for any team on any level. And so far the Rebels have been able to do that. Shots on goal in favor of Arizona, 4-3. Thank you for making that number where people of age could see. And now Alec Johnson is being emphatically asked, well, there's going to be a penalty, and Alec Johnson's going to go off, and unfortunately, the play was to my back, and boy, I would have liked to have seen that. And we'll go over to the monitor, and can't get a replay on these things, unfortunately. But Johnson's going off for 2 minutes, and that was an emphatic penalty because the referee was all too happy to tell him to get into the box. So Alec Johnson will go off, and Arizona will have another power play opportunity. And you know, the first couple games against Illinois, both Alex and Max Johnson, you can see their infectious energy on the ice, their desire to win, their love for this game. But you can also see as the season progresses, whether it's at home or on the road, where they need that fire to be, they need to put it in the box a little bit and need to know when to bring it out. And really that fire in the gut is a weapon. It's not something to be brought out at all times in every situation. And unfortunately, when you do that, it creates a lot of power play opportunities for the opposition. And that's just part of the maturity process for both of these kids, especially for, sorry, I'm just looking at the face-off, but especially for Alec Johnson, he really has to harness that. And what he has is something special, but he's got to know when to use it and when not to, because it can become a negative as well as it become a positive, or is a positive. Face-off to the left of Benedetto. One by Arizona. There's Hull. Hull with plenty of room. Gets it in front, and the Rebels clear it down the ice. So that's going to be the first clear as Hull goes back to pick it up for Arizona. Hull is joined there by Lowell and Timor. Timor had it on his stick, now back to Hull. And throws it in down deep into the corner. Rebels looking to clear, not able to do so. Joining in the play is Shively. Shively came in. I'm not sure UNLV was aware of the change. 1:22 to go in the power play, 12:48 to go in the period. Rebels have it on their stick. Tried to clear, and then finally does. And Gallant had it for a second. Gallant able to kill some time off this penalty. As Arizona goes back, Orfanos carries it into the offensive zone. Harassed there by Johnson, Max Johnson. 52 seconds left in the power play. Arizona still has it in the offensive zone. Walking in, wrister goes wide of Benedetto. And Arizona, like last night, was able to get to the high danger areas fairly consistent on the power play last night. And right there was another chance for them as the Rebels finally clear it out of the zone. 27 seconds to go in the power play. So Orfanos lays it off into the corner, 15 seconds to go. Back out to the perimeter, that wrister goes wide, and puck finds its way out of the zone. Onto Malone's stick, here's Malone, backhanded by Malone and a save. Malone was coming in with a head of steam, and his only option, because Chiro was hugging the post, his only option was a backhander and really had nothing to, there was nothing to shoot at. But the good news is that killed off the penalty. We're going to skate 5 apiece now with 11:14 to go in the first period, and now UNLV's got to settle down. Here comes Johnson, trying to atone for the penalty. Instead, he turns it over. Up to Shively. Shively had to go off his stick. Picked up there by Barry. 10:55. These two teams are evenly matched. There is no doubt about it. They each have the same strengths. Flanders chases McCauley. Flanders tried to lay a hit. Cross-ice pass, and nobody was there for UNLV. It was really just a pass and nobody, so they turned it over as Marshall comes into the offensive zone, and then he loses it. Rebels back in transition, pass to Flanders just outside his stick. Picked up there by Timor. And Arizona back up the ice. Hull gives it into the neutral zone, not able to find its mark. Just about 10 minutes gone by in the first period. Shots on goal in favor of Arizona, 5-4. 10 minutes exactly left in the first. From City National, thank you for joining us. And this is a big game for both teams. You can hear the sense of urgency in Anthony Vigneri-Greener's eyes or voice, and they don't like to lose. They try to be even keeled, and I had the conversation about that today or yesterday. Here's Batusov. Batusov almost made a move. Plonsky had it on the stick for a second, trying to get it down deep, but nobody there for UNLV. And just to finish that thought, both coaches, I've never seen two coaches that dislike losing more. And of course, when Vigneri-Greener was playing at UNLV, they did a ton of winning, and he had a ton of success as a player, which is why he's the all-time leading point getter in UNLV history, and now he coaches the boys and been doing a fantastic job with the program. Rebels in the offensive zone. Back out to the point. Wrister gets blocked in front. Benedetto was lucky it wasn't on goal because I think he was surprised by the deflection. I don't think it would have got past him, but he would have at least had to make it save. Then up all alone, here's Selman. Selman shoots, and they score. Well, once again, UNLV has given up a breakaway goal, and it doesn't mean that you got to start at the blue line or the. Well, this is always fun. They were raising their sticks as if it went in, and apparently that did not happen, and it's on the other end of the ice. So still scoreless. Sometimes you gotta eat a little crow on these things, but it's mostly only because you're going on reaction. You gotta look through a lot of guys. Arizona was celebrated as if it went in, but instead, not only did it not go in, but UNLV, in fact, is going to a power play and a penalty on Brody Selman. And I would have loved to have seen a replay on that because Selman was in basically all alone and not really sure how he got the penalty. It's here the call on the penalty. And he got a penalty for slashing. So just one of those things, guys, where I would have loved to have seen a replay, and you're just kind of looking through a lot of trees. So apologize for that, but good news for Rival fans. We're all still 0-0, and UNLV's on the power play. Erickson keeps it in the zone. For a second there, Lowell had it on his stick, and it was looking to break it away. Clearing pass didn't find its mark. Johnson wrister in front, blocked there by Lowell. Rebels still in control, back out to the point. There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo to Malone. Johnson battling in down low, back to Malone. Mazzillo winds up over to Burke. Burke tried to slap her, but misfired on that, so he gives it back to Mazzillo. UNLV maintaining control on this power play in the offensive end. And the passing clinic is impressive, but no shots on net. Johnson tried to find Erickson in the middle of the ice as Erickson was streaking down the middle. Arizona going for a change. 36 seconds to go in the power play. 7:05 left in the first period. Here's Mazzillo. Mazzillo stops, gives himself some room. Puck is loose in the high slot area, and nobody can control until it finds its way into the corner. Rebels finally comes out with it. Here's Gallant. Gallant using that quick stick. Back out to Mazzillo, to Estrada. Down low, back to a Gallant just outside the reach of Gallant's stick. And Gallant gets it back in back of Chiro. There's Estrada. Mazzillo, 3 seconds to go in the power play, and be good to get a shot off. Its passing's got to be quicker. There's Estrada. Estrada tried a shot, but they're just a second too slow. And Arizona is tenacious on defense, so they get in position. They get in position quite easily if you give them a second to do so. Down at the other end, Benedetto snatches it out of the air. So skating 5 apiece, 6:18 to go first period. Shots on goal in favor of Arizona, 7-4. And of course, part of that is the luxury of having 2 power plays. And UNLV just got through completing their first. Puck loose in front. UNLV picks it up. Has a brief 3-on-2, but Arizona getting back on defense like they've had all weekend. Flanders centering pass just outside the reach of Arkle. Arkle had it on the stick for a second, couldn't corral it. Butusov makes a great move and just goes wide. They thought Butusov was going to do a Connor McDavid and go around the perimeter of the ice. Instead, Butusov said, well, I'm going to go right through the middle, and shoots it just wide of Chiro. Good job there and good hockey IQ by Butusov. Rebels still maintaining control. Arkle making a stick save. Backhander by Fehlig. Didn't find its way to Chiro. And a puck comes out of the zone. And boy, UNLV, Alec Johnson couldn't keep it in. And UNLV was buzzing on that trip down the ice. That was probably, well, not probably, without a doubt, their best offensive possession in the Arizona end. Draw 1 by Arizona. Arizona's at least been even with UNLV in face-offs this week, and that's usually been a strength and a dominant trait of the Rebels so far. 5:18 to go in the first period. And before last night's win, I mean, Arizona came in on a 2-game losing streak, but as we stated, as Estrada gets the draw, back out to the point, deflected in front, and that came out as well. And they tried to, for a second there, pretend it didn't come out, but when you're both looking at the puck coming out of the zone, you clearly know it did. But sometimes it's better just to take the offside. And I think that was kind of the case there. I think they just basically said, well, we'll take the draw outside the blue line here. Here's Cusinelli. Cusinelli shoots in on Benedetto, and he was down to make the save. Cusinelli, you look at his accomplishments, and we highlighted that last night. And one season he broke the record for the most goals in Arizona Wildcat hockey history in a single season. And the next year he came back and was top 5 all-time in assists. So when it's all said and done for Mr. Cusinelli, turnover. Here's Flanders. Flanders lost an edge. Shot in, a save. Flanders had it for a second. Went down, regrouped, got up, and shot it in on Churro, and Churro was there to make the glove save. Flanders will take the draw for the Rebels in the offensive end. And once again, he wins the draw. Shot in by Johnson, Max Johnson. And Churro there to make the easy save once again. So we'll do the face-off all over again as Flanders will take his spot in a dot. He has been one of the most reliable UNLV face-off guys. I guess that's the technical term, but he's been relied on to win a lot of big draws this year. And more times than not, he has done so nicely. Here's Flanders again. Chased there by Hull. Flanders centering pass and nobody there. And it's especially 5-on-5. And when you're 5-on-5, there is no reason not to have some inside presence. And you can have the most beautiful centering passes in the world, but you're just centering them to the opposition. Turnover, shot, deflected. Churro never got to the puck. Another turnover. Here's Malone. Malone getting harassed by Orfanos. Puck loose in a high slot area. Burke trying to get to it, but Arizona cleared. Good job there by Lowell, who gets it out of the defensive end. 3:29 to go, and for probably about 4 periods now where it hasn't been physical. This one's getting a little bit chippy at the end. Arizona usually plays a lot more physical, but I guess when you don't have to, and UNLV's not going to play physical, there's kids that want to play physical, but unfortunately that leads to some penalty minutes. And there's a big hit. Talk about physicality. Good hit delivered there by Mazzillo. Wrapped around into the offensive zone. There's a 2-on-1. Here's Gallant going to the net. Shot, puck loose. Arizona clears. And UNLV had a good chance there as Gallant was waiting for a return pass. Just couldn't get it to him, and Churro did have to make a fairly difficult save to keep this game scoreless with 2.5 minutes left in the first period. UNLV back the other way, 3-on-2, but it's not a 3-on-2 where they're going to be able to do anything with it as Batusov gets ridden into the boards by Shively, and Shively and Fritz go off. UNLV trying to catch him in a change, but Arizona so quick back on defense, not giving the Rebels any room. Here's Burke. Burke into the corner, had it poked away quite easily by Lowell. Lowell drives it out, gets a shot in the back from Batusov. 2 minutes to go in the first period. And we are scoreless still. And two teams that are as evenly matched as any Rebel opponent this year. Churro comes in to make a play, gives it up Here's Erickson. Erickson trying to gain control, but again, Wildcat sticks just a little bit quicker. Another turnover. Into the offensive zone is Manning. Manning just dumps it in down low, picked up there by Tamor. And Tamor goes down, puck loose. They were looking for a penalty on the hit. None came. And I guess I don't feel so bad about last night's non-call. Shot goes wide of Churro. Churro doesn't know what it is because he's protecting the post. It's on the other side and they score! Manning jumps on the puck. Churro had no idea where it was. Puck found itself in the low slot area. Manning picked it up and buried it past Churro. And UNLV has a 1-0 lead. On a quick move in front, and again, presence in front of the net is an absolute necessity to have success. And that play all started with not just a dump into the zone, not just for the sake of getting it into the zone, but placing it in the correct area of the ice that forced Churro to come out and play the puck. And by doing that, Churro made a mistake. That forced the scramble for the puck. And then the shot from the low slot area went past Churro, and it's 1-0 UNLV. Into the offensive zone for Arizona is Selman. Manning getting announced right now. Arizona shot blocked in front. Assist being announced to Ezekiel Estrada. And Alec Johnson back on the scoreboard. And there's so much you love about this kid's game. You sprinkle in a little maturity to Johnson's game, both Johnson's game, especially Alec, and he's going to be an absolute force in this league. UNLV back with 15 seconds to go, trying to get a feather to pass to Estrada. Wasn't able to find his stick, and Arizona was able to clear it with 6 seconds to go. Still time for one more shot. Josephson coming in from behind to play off the bench, but that's going to do it for the first period. So shots on goal in favor of UNLV 12-7. Scoreboard says UNLV 1-0, and that's where we stand after 20 minutes. We'll be back after the first period intermission with second period action. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dana Lane, and we'll be back right after the intermission. And welcome back to City National Arena for second period action between the 10th ranked UNLV Skating Rebels and the 19th ranked Arizona Wildcats. First period saw UNLV lead 12-7 in shots on goal, and they got the only goal of the period, so they lead 1-0 headed into the second period, and UNLV wins the draw back to Mazzillo. And just some clarity as we got some clarity in between periods. Jason DeMizio got 10 minutes, so that's why we didn't see Jason for a while. And Alec Johnson on that same play, he went off for unsportsmanlike, and Alec Johnson got 2 minutes at the same time. So just get some clarity on the penalties as Barry has it at the left point. Shot in, deflected wide. Benedetto and Churro still in net. I learned my puck still maintained in the offensive zone, but good aggressive play right there is by Hull, and Benedetto down to make the save. They played that extremely well. When you see that defenseman struggling at the blue line, you be aggressive, and nine times out of 10, it's either going to lead to an opportunity back the other way because your momentum is carrying you that way, and most of the time the defenseman is just trying to keep it in the zone, or it's going to result in a turnover. Right there, it was a turnover at the blue line, and Benedetto made it look easy with a glove save. And they're doing some repair work up at the blue line. And it looks like there's a fairly large divot there. So one of the linesmen is down, and then Alex Johansson from Arizona comes in and tries to create some shavings, and we're all good to go. A few squirts of the Gatorade bottle, and we're ready to go. Orfanos will take the draw against DeMizio. Draw to the left of Benedetto. Plonsky gives it out to Malone. Malone to the middle of the ice and tried to lay it off for DeMizio. DeMizio turned it over. Arizona back the other way into the offensive zone. Here's Selman. Selman shoots just wide, or it might be it was a pad save on that, just looking at the replay there. Then a blocker save by Benedetto that would have went wide anyway. But he stuck it out there just to make sure. So we're a minute and a half gone in the second period, 1-0 UNLV. And it's way too early in the season to say, well, this is a must-win, but it's must-win light, I guess I should say. I know my kids use a cooler term. That will not be used by me. Erickson, offensive zone. Cutting in. Cutter in front, a backhander, and a save by Churro. And I believe that was Erickson in front, and indeed it was. Gentile picks up the puck. Good to see Liam Gentile on the ice. It's his second game this year. He's making his second start, and Brendan Feelig is making his first start. Kyle Quinn gets knocked up against the boards by Johansson into the offensive zone, shot wide. Arizona back in transition, 2.5 minutes gone in the second period. Arizona able to get deep quite easily by Johansson, centering pass, and wasn't dangerous but found its way in front of Benedetto, and Benedetto decided, well, I'm going to freeze this, and we'll take our chances in the face-off circle. So again, both of these teams, I mean, it's even when you look at combined goals, it's between tonight and last night, we're all tied up there as well. I mean, these two teams are evenly matched, and for Arizona, that's good news as they're still trying to climb their way up the ACHA rankings. Rebels into the offensive zone. Flanders gets ridden off the puck behind Benedetto into the corner. Centering pass, and Churro, and check that Churro. Three minutes gone, first period. Timor up for Arizona, just trying to get it down deep and centering pass just outside of the reach of Marshall. Marshall was in terrific position, but pass was just wide of his stick, so no harm there for UNLV. Back the other way, here comes Marshall. It's 1-on-2, puts a move, and Benedetto down to make the save. Back the other way, here's Mazzillo. Mazzillo has Flanders on his left. They're bunched up. He tried to make a move to the ice, got tripped, no call. Another Rebel goes down, and Churro jumps on the puck and freezes it. Two Rebels went down as if they were tripped. And in all honesty, don't believe that they were. So therefore no call, and we'll still skate 5 apiece. Flanders will take the draw for UNLV to the right of Churro. And it's you always want to win those offensive draws. Puck still 50-50 and now picked up by Arizona as they finally maintain possession. Centering pass, but UNLV was not in position, and finally Churro has to make another save. It was a centering pass, but it was behind the intended receiver, if you will. Now back the other way here. Gallant. There's Batusov. Slapper. And Churro looked like it went out of play, and then finally the whistle did come and went back to the left point, and a slapper was deflected out of play. So 15:51 to go, second period. 1-0 UNLV. And we can't just play Crazy Train. It's got to be a dance mix. I mean, come on. Back out to Barry on the right point, shot in. Churro down to make the relatively easy save as he saw it all the way. Orfanos had it for a second and is able to flip it up out of the zone. Back the other way, here's Selman. Selman just outside the reach of Mayer's stick. And Mayer would have walked in all alone. Now UNLV trying to return the favor. Malone was streaking down the ice trying to see if he would be reunited with the puck. But it never found its way there, and he would have been in all alone as well. 15:50 to go, second period. Picked up there by Selman. Selman deflected it back out towards the neutral zone and now into the Arizona offensive end. Slapper from the right point goes wide by Hull. Picked up by Orfanos, and Orfanos' centering pass tried to deflect it in on Benedetto, but never quite made it there. Arizona back defensively, as they have done so many times over this two-game set. Here's Litwin. Litwin gets ridden off, and we're going to have a holding penalty, and that looks like that's going to go to Mazzillo. And then on top of that, we're going to probably have an unsportsmanlike, and we're going to sort this all out. And when unsportsmanlikes are involved, the UNLV's side of the board lights up. And it's going to be a 4-minute penalty, and that probably is going to go on Mazzillo, and indeed it is. So 4 minutes to Mazzillo, and Arizona onto the power play, down 1-0, and we'll have 4 minutes to try to tie this thing up, and UNLV is going to do their best to do what they do best, and that's kill off power plays, but last night wasn't as good of a showing as they were used to. There's Timor. Timor over to, there's Cusinelli. Cusinelli trying to find some room. Good job there. Cross-crease pass to Timor. Cross ice pass to Timor. Timor has it again. Nobody in front for the Wildcats, so it's still a perimeter game for the Cats. Shot in on Benedetto. He makes a save, and now we're going to have another penalty. And we'll see who this is on. This is just this likely is going to be a This is going to even things up, and indeed it does. Cameron Tamor is going to go off for 2 minutes, so we're going to skate 4-on-4 here for another minute 25, and then Arizona will regain that power play, barring any other further penalties. But that's a break for UNLV for sure. And see if they'll announce the penalties. Rebels win an important draw. Shot in on Churro. Sticks it aside to the right corner. Two minutes for a holding from Mazzillo. And then he got another 2 minutes from unsportsmanlike, which we knew. And then Arizona's penalty. And 2 minutes for slashing. So we skate 4-on-4 for another minute and 25. And then Arizona will go back on a power play. Flanders in the corner. Flanders just tried to get it in, but tried to get it in closer to Churro. But Arizona just a little bit quicker. And UNLV took advantage of the one turnover in front that Arizona committed, but outside of that, Arizona all weekend have really done a good job defensively, not giving UNLV a lot of room. 48 seconds ago on the UNLV, on the Arizona power penalty. There's Erickson. Erickson being harassed, and he decides just to bring it back out of the zone. Turnover by Johnson. Arizona back the other way, and well, that was a close offside call, but they called it nonetheless, and they'll give him the benefit of the doubt, considering he is right there. So 12:28 to go, second period, 1-0 Rebels. Arizona has 31 seconds to go left on the Timor penalty, and then they'll go back to the power play, looking to tie things up. And now the referee's going over and pointing to the crowd, and I don't know. Looked like he was pointing to one of the cheerleaders up in the stands, but he's certainly not happy with something. I'm not sure if he was pointing to a cheerleader. I didn't see that she was doing anything wrong, but they're still looking up in the crowd, and I didn't see if anybody threw something onto the ice, but didn't look that way. But he pointed at somebody. I don't know, somebody. I mean, anything's really just speculation. And they just made an announcement. Sometimes it's not as easy to hear the announcements. So they're still mulling around, and I don't know if they're trying to throw somebody out, but they're still looking up into the stands. And they just called security, so somebody is getting thrown out. And we'll see. There's somebody that's removing himself. And so he's walking out by himself. I mean, he's got a great holiday jersey on, so I can't imagine. But yeah, he's removing himself, and that's just the way to do it. I mean, turn yourself in. Now back to hockey. 21 seconds left in the first period. 12:12 to go, second period. And Arizona's 13 seconds away from going on a power play. They maintain offensive possession in transition. Back to center point. There's Howell. Howell gets pushed off the stick, and UNLV gets pushed off the puck. And now Arizona onto the power play for a minute 21. We have another whistle. And UNLV doesn't seem happy about whatever that was about. I mean, it's really a shame that he removed himself because there was a part of me that wanted to see him removed, but I'm trying to be mature about this, so good job removing yourself. Shot score! That's a great move there by Matthew Hull, and he got it at just inside, in the high, or just outside the high slot area, and what made that great was Hull made a move like he was going to shoot. He froze Benedetto and then made a little bit of a move to the right and then buried a power play goal past Benedetto. And this game is tied 1-0. That was a high hockey IQ move that really had Benedetto standing there like a statue, and he anticipated that the shot was coming off the first attempt, but that little move gave him the room that was needed. And Arizona ties this game up with 11:24 to go. And we talked about special teams quite a bit with the UNLV coaches, and they just said power play and penalty kill has to be better. Unfortunately there, Arizona cashed in, so we are tied 1-1. Shot goes wide of Churro. And the Rebels in to see how they respond to that. Kept in and sent down deep by Lenzen. We have a call going on Arizona, so UNLV will go to the power play as soon as Arizona touches up. Benedetto to the bench, and then finally Arizona catches. Well, and now we have an Arizona player down on the ice, and it is about the furthest point from where we are, so anything would be just pure speculation as to what happened. And what might have ultimately happened was an attempt to erase the UNLV power play, and it was a high sticking call, and then we might have an elbow call at the end, and indeed he might have got caught with one. So we'll just look at the penalties on the scoreboard, but boy, if UNLV was off to a power play and then got an elbowing, and that's exactly what happened. So Arco goes off for UNLV, and Lowe goes off for Arizona. So UNLV was going on the power play, and Arizona touches up. Arco gets an elbow high, and we skate 4-on-4. Missed opportunity for the Rebels. Arizona into the neutral zone. Then turns it over. Here's Johnson. Shoots it just wide. Puck loose in front. Churro down to make the first save. Puck is still loose. No Rebel there to pounce on it, and that net would have been wide open if somebody found their way there. Johnson trying to maneuver his way into the offensive zone. Here's Flanders. Flanders has a little bit of a lane. Making a move, puck, stick handling. And then he gets ridden off of the board, and a shot in on Churro when he makes a save. And now the Rebels are starting to find some seams, and of course at 4-on-4, you're going to a lot more, but it's not going to be a lot of nights where UNLV doesn't get the best of a 4-on-4 situation. So they did not get the power play. They should have had a power play, but 4-on-4 is not exactly a outside of their wheelhouse either. They should be extremely effective on that. That was if you watch that play, Kyle Quinn made a great play there because he prevented a breakaway back the other way after he turned it off. And now we're going to have another penalty. And that was in the corner, so we'll see who, that might be against Arizona. Just going body language. That's definitely in the corner, so didn't see who touched up, but body language would tell you that Arizona is going to go on a power play, and that indeed is the case. Hedgecote, Christopher Hedgecote will go off for Arizona. And in 43 seconds, UNLV will have a minute 17 power play. And they'll see if they can indeed take the lead. All right, check that. They have a power play now for a minute 17. 2 minutes for boarding. And I'm, geez, math is never my favorite. They have a 2-minute power play right now. Alec Johnson off to Plonsky. Back to Plonsky, and then he shoots it in. Puck is loose down low. Churro trying to make the save and wasn't able to jump on it. Mazzillo gets it at the left point. Down low, back to Mazzillo. Good stick work there by Arizona as they knock it out of the zone. And they do not allow seams to be open for very long, and that's more reason why the puck movement has to be quick and crisp. And basically, you don't have time to think out there, and that's a credit to the Wildcats. Slapper saved by Churro. Puck is loose in front, and Arizona trying to clear it. Maintain possession in the offensive zone. There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo lays it off, gets it back to Mazzillo. 8 minutes to go, 40 seconds left in a power play. Rebels trying to take a 2-1 lead. Shoots wide, and shoots hard enough so the puck finds its way back outside the zone. Mazzillo picks it up. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Back into the Arizona end with 7:47 left in the second period. And battle behind Churro. Back out to the point. There's Lenzen. Lenzen down low. Now back out to Erickson. Slapper, score! Well, with 10 seconds left in the power play, UNLV gets their own power play goal. And they take a 2-1 lead over Arizona on an absolute bullet by Alec Johnson, who was in the Ovechkin spot on the ice, and like Ovi, he buried it home past Churro, and well, there was nothing that Churro could have done on that. That was an absolute laser beam to the back of the net. So UNLV regains the lead with 7:27 to go. And we'll see how both teams respond after that goal. Just about after every goal, you watch how a team responds, whether they're down by 3 goals or down by 1. Tells you a lot about who they are. Alec Johnson, the sophomore defenseman, gets the goal. Puck is still loose in front. Looks like looks like UNLV's going to the power play again. Estrada gets the assist. David Lenzen gets the secondary assist. And there's another call, and this appears to be on Arizona as well. And that indeed is the case. So UNLV has a chance here to lengthen the lead. No advance going off for 2 minutes. So 6:55 to go. And the second period, and this is the first small opening for UNLV where they have an opportunity to put a stranglehold on this game, and at least as much as they've had all weekend. A 2-goal stranglehold. This 2-goal lead would certainly be their largest. Vance goes off, 2 minutes for cross-checking, so UNLV trying to make them pay for that penalty. And again, special teams will be the story. Here's Mazzillo. Mazzillo gives off to Malone. Malone shoots it just wide, but that was exactly where it was intended to go. He was hoping for a little bit better of a bounce off the boards, didn't get it, and the puck finally finds its way outside the offensive zone with 6:10 left. 1:14 left in the power play. Mazzillo almost turned it over. Good stick work there by Max Mayer. And into the offensive zone once again go the Rebels. And now we're going to have an interference call, and UNLV is going to give it up because the puck was behind them, and it was more about getting in a tussle with Timor than it was going after the puck, and I'm imagining that they're going to get UNLV for an interference call. And Mazzillo's going to go to the box, and indeed that is the case. So, back to 4-on-4 hockey for a minute 1, and then Arizona will have a short power play of 59 seconds. Josephson will take the draw for Arizona against Manning. Still 50-50 puck, but it looks like Barry's going to get to it for UNLV. He drops it off to nobody. Puck goes, beautiful save, and that was 2 saves there by Benedetto, and that was brought out, and it's still not over. Benedetto makes a 3rd save with the blocker, and it came from Hedgecock from the left point. As we still skate 4-on-4, here's Barry. That last opportunity was brought because there was an attempt to get the puck out of the corner, but it just wasn't to anybody, and everything that you do has to have some intent, and that lack of intent there led to the Arizona opportunity. So they had 3 chances to beat Benedetto, and he stood tall 3 straight times. I think a little New York accent came out and when I said tall. Try not to do that. Arizona back the other way. Shot, and I think Benedetto got a piece of the Cusinelli shot. Then there's a pile up in front. No goal. Benedetto is down. Gentile is down. And for Arizona, Lowell is also in the goal mouth. Referee came over to say this emphatically is not a goal, whatever happens. And we'll have a face-off in the UNLV end. I remember sitting in college, and 2 things my teacher said. Even though I didn't spend any time down in New York City, I wasn't that far away. Some words sound New Yorkish. He said you got to lose in New York, and you got to stop saying you got to stop saying the. Big save there by Benedetto. You got to always say the, and that's enough of my story. Back out to the point. Here's Hull. Hull to Timor. Timor, loose puck in front. Good job getting to it by Gallant, and Gallant was on his backside, but managed to clear it out of the zone anyway with 14 seconds left in the Arizona power play. Here's Lowell. Lowell out to Cusinelli. Cusinelli lays it off, back to Timor. Shot from the point, goes wide. Nobody there for the Wildcats to redirect. Back out to Cusinelli. Cusinelli sends it back in and hits Gentile in the logo. Gentile unable to clear. Power play is over with 3:45 to go in the second period. Timor shoots wide of Benedetto. And both teams finding a little bit more room tonight. Turnover once again, back out to Timor. Coming in off the bench is Selman. Selman trying to get it past Benedetto. Puck is still loose. Benedetto lost his stick, and Selman came right off the bench on a change and was looking to tie this game up. Impressive player with him and Cusinelli and both of their goaltenders. Benedetto said, well, I'm going to slow this pace down. It's getting a little bit too hectic. And both goaltenders for Arizona. I mean, tonight we know Anthony Chiro. I mean, he's been fantastic for a long time. And then Nolan Bivolsic last night was terrific for Arizona. And those 2 guys, I mean, even at the end of the year, when you see these teams go deep, it's the teams that have 2 goaltenders that they can rely on. And Benedetto giving UNLV an extraordinary effort tonight. So, and now Johnson had a little bit of a dust up with Johansson. Johansson still looking over at Johnson. 2:56 to go in the second period. And Good job. I don't know exactly what the words were between the two, but good job for, if there were words indeed. That was good on Johnson just to kind of skate away, and that's part of the maturity process as a player. 2:45 to go in the second period. 2-1 UNLV. And here's a breakaway back on Benedetto. 2-on-0, shot wide. Benedetto cut down the angle. Puck is still loose in back of Benedetto. Wildcats spilled. UNLV clears. 2:24 to go, second period. Puck is in a low slot area, but swiped away by the Wildcats, and we have a whistle. But the 3-goal, 2-1 game, but boy, these two teams have really played an entertaining weekend. And got a chance to chat with head coach Chad Berman from the Wildcats before the game, and one of my favorite coaches in the league, and just nice guy. First one to come over and say hello. There's Demizio. Demizio using his body to try to make a move in on Churro. Gets a backhander wide. Barry able to keep it into the offensive zone. 2 minutes to go in the second period. But Coach Berman certainly has his team moving forward, and you look at his resume, and he is in. And now we got a couple things going on. We have, we'll see if they get the slash. Luke Burke slash one of the Wildcats. We had two players down on the ice in the corner. Not sure anything's going to result in it, but just look interesting. And indeed, we'll still stay 5-on-5. 1:52 to go. Demizio wins the draw, brings it in the offensive zone, but there's a lot of traffic there. Good job by Malone keeping it in. Shot in on Churro. Churro just covers it up. And then we'll have a dust up in front. And it's still, little by little, this is getting a little bit chippy. And again, we're used to maybe a little chippiness between these two teams, but so far, these two games have not been at all. It's been good hockey outside of some untimely penalties, but certainly from a physical aspect, it hasn't been that bad. You see Greg Malafronte on the bench for Arizona, nursing what appears to be some sort of a hip issue. I'm certainly not a doctor, but I have binge-watched Grey's Anatomy, so that says something, I guess. Plus, he's grabbing his hip, so I just went with that. Here's Erickson, 1:28 to go into the offensive zone. Shot, backhander goes wide. Arizona jumps on it for a second, but good quick stick there by Gallant once again. And we have an offside. 1:15 to go in the second period. One of the trainers was over to look at Malafronte, and he doesn't look happy right now. Doesn't look comfortable, but you know, kid's 20 years old, so I'm sure he's going to be great. I'm sure I'd be out for a month. Just over a minute to go, second period. 2-1 UNLV as they look to split this series with the 19th ranked Wildcats. Gallant, as much speed as he had, could not catch up to that puck, but was able to finally track it down. Arizona pushed it out of the zone. Back the other way is Hull. Hull says, I'll just play a dump and chase game. Picked up there by Selman. Selman wrapped it around the board into the corner. Then have a whistle. Is it? Well, the face-off outside the zone, I believe. Just looking down at the Arizona bench. Either it's calmness or a little tired at this point. fatigue does happen on some level. That's why it's so difficult to win on the road in this league. 25 seconds to go. Rister was mishandled, and UNLV picked it up going the other way. Here's Estrada. Estrada dumps it in down low. As Erickson chased it, hit from behind with 10 seconds to go. Arizona back 2-on-2. Marshall tried to make a move, intercepted, 3 seconds to go. 2 seconds shot, and Churro makes a save right before the horn sounds. So good period for UNLV. They still lead the shots on goal 24-22. And after 40 minutes from City National Arena, UNLV owns a 2-1 lead over Arizona. We'll be back after the second period intermission. And welcome back to City National Arena for third period action in a tight game as it was last night. And UNLV has a 2-1 lead with 20 minutes left from City National. Thanks for joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody on the YouTube chat room. Sometimes I forget to look at it, but appreciate Taylor Wixon, 50HS, whoever that is. Donna's Love 325. Maneri 81, who's obviously an Arizona fan. We appreciate you listening. As third period is underway. I know there's some others, apologize, but I appreciate everybody listening. Shot in front and wide. All alone was Galan. I'm telling you, that kid's going to get on the scoreboard one day because he's always in the right place at the right time and a low slot area, and he was all alone. Kind of misfired, but Churro had to get down to make the save to prevent this going to a 2-goal game. Here's Flanders. Flanders in 1-on-3. Trying to make a quick move, but sticks from the Wildcats were a little bit quicker. Here's Mayer. Mayer shoots on Benedetto. Benedetto lost track of the puck for a second and then was able to get his way back into the goal mouth. Rebels going, well, I'm not doing radio, so I don't have to go right to left. Back out to the point. There's Plonsky. Plonsky shoots it wide. Estrada picks it up. Skating it around the perimeter. Back out to the right point. Back to Estrada. Plonsky moving in. Redirection score! A beautiful goal by Plonsky. And they said, yeah, let's activate a defenseman. Skates to the middle of the ice, and the redirection on a shot from the point goes in. Arizona is also going to be assessed a penalty, and UNLV has a 2-goal lead, and they're going to the power play. And their grip on victory on night 2 gets just a little tighter. As we get the announcement on the goal. Let's see if there's a secondary assist, but the Rebels take a 3-1 lead with 18:28 to go. Penalty assessed to Selman. So Selman will go off for 2 minutes. And the Rebels not only have a 2-goal lead, but they have a chance here to make a 3-goal difference. But Arizona, once again, good stick work as they clear it down the ice. And now Arizona has to be a little bit more aggressive, not just letting UNLV go back and set up offensively. And they're very mindful, even though there's a lot of time on the clock, they're mindful of this 2-goal deficit. Here's Estrada. Estrada gets redirected to the half wall. Picked up there by Johnson. Johnson gets it out to Burke. Burke sends it over towards Malone. Back out to the point. Malone. Erickson in the middle. Rebound in front. And there was a save there by Churro. Rebels still maintaining possession. Mazzillo out to Malone. Down low. Centering pass. Erickson didn't have position. They still have it in the Arizona end. Here's Burke. And misfired on Erickson. Plonsky gets the goal just announced now. And Mazzillo certainly with a beautiful assist. And Johnson will get a secondary assist. Again, that kid lights up a scoreboard for sure. But unfortunately for UNLV, a minute and 36 is all they will have of that power play, as there will be a call on the Rebels and we'll skate 4 apiece. Then Arizona will go to an important power play of their own. And 2 minutes goes up on the board. I believe that's going to be the Max Johnson. And indeed, that's the case. So Johnson goes off. We'll skate 4 apiece for 22 seconds, and then Arizona will have about a minute 35 on the minute 36 on the power play. Here's Flanders. Flanders back out to Quinn. Quinn to the point. Estrada shoots wide. Back out to Flanders. And the Rebels over the last couple minutes have really been in control. Good move in front by Flanders, and he tried to backhand it as he was flying through the air. Now, flying probably was a little bit much, but you get excited. 16-21, Arizona to the power play, and the Rebels just clear it down the length of the ice. Churro settles it down and gives it off to Fisher. And Fisher is joined by Orfanos and Selman. And he likely would just give it off to Selman, but he's more than happy to kill off the Rebel power play. And he sat back there for about 15 seconds, and there was no pressure at all. And UNLV says, thanks for that. 54 seconds to go. Rebels clear the length of the ice, but Tusaw picks it up, tries to get it out of the skate of Churro, and that's going to be offside. So really good hustle there, and Churro did a good job of maintaining composure and really didn't have anybody there to help him, and his only job was to get it out of his skates, which he managed to do. And that's one play in hockey that's so it's so underrated, but you've seen it, and we've seen it here a lot in Vegas, because as great as Marc-Andre Fleury was, that was one of his issues, that anytime you asked him to go out and handle the puck, there was a good chance that you were going to have an offensive possession pretty quick, because he wasn't the greatest at that. Deflected in front, goes wide of Benedetto. Rebels, 17 seconds left in the power play. Arizona, good job by Hull trying to keep it in deep. And finally, the Rebels are able to clear. So that's going to do it for the power play. Picked up by Hull. And Hull sends it the length of the ice. Benedetto over to make a fantastic save. A cross-crease pass. Bounced in, basically, on Benedetto, and then a redirect. And he went from post to post to make that save. And not only does that keep the score at 3-1, but that also kills off the Arizona power play. So we're back to 5-on-5 with 14:52 to go in the third period. Face-off will be to the left of Benedetto. Fritz will take the draw from Arizona and win it. Back out to the point to Fisher. Fisher down low around the corner and able to gather it in, and finally loses it to Malone, but UNLV still not able to clear, and finally they just poke it out. Arizona looks just a little bit slower, and maybe not because they are slow, just a little bit more tired than they did to start this game, and that's why it's, again, difficult to win. DeMizio, strong on his skates, looking for Malone in front, decides to give it back out to the point. Here's Barry, shot, high. Stick battle in front. Malone gives a shove out to McCauley. McCauley gives him one back. They let him play on, as they should. Back out to the neutral zone as it's backhanded in by Barry. Arizona's going to be a change and an offside. So 13:52 to go in the game, 3-1 UNLV. Rebels still maintaining the edge in shots on goal, 27-23. And we'll see who's going to take this draw. Okay, Gallant's going to go in and take the draw. Gallant wins the draw cleanly. Shot goes wide of Churro. Good job by Gallant. He is Bradley Gallant, my favorite player that you wouldn't see him light it up on the score sheet, but boy, it's just little things, right place, right time, IQ through the roof. Another draw one, back out to the point, that's Johnson. turn it over as they tried to slide it back over to Johnson. Now Hedgecote goes back, and Arizona is really set on, well, I guess as long as UNLV is not going to apply any pressure, they're going to go back and set up, and transition will start from a set play from behind Churro. And that's pretty uncharacteristic by UNLV, but when you're up 3-1, you'll allow them to do that. Normally UNLV would be a lot more aggressive on transition. Now it starts to get a little physical, but Gentile picks it up for UNLV, and finally Flanders gets it, deflects it in down low as both teams make a change. Arizona a little bit quicker in transition this time. Here's Hull. And Hull tried to cleanly get it up to Mayer, but went outside of his stick into the corner. 12:33 to go. Timor kept it in nicely from center point. Backhander in front of Benedetto, and Benedetto down to make another save. And boy, this has been a terrific outing by Vince Benedetto, the sophomore. And really his first year. It's strange how now we have to say, well, it's his first year with the program, but he's a sophomore. The first year he gets to get on the ice. Rebels finally pick up that 50-50 off the draw. Again, Gallant right there. He's kind of, I would say, like I'm well aware the parents listen. So here's Gallant. Let's get him on the scoreboard, and then they can not have to finish that. Shot, the pass goes back out to center point. Didn't find its mark as Barry goes back to pick it up, but he reminds me, of course I know he's not this player, but his style of play reminds me of Brad Marchand a lot. Just quick, big motor. Not the scoring touch for sure, but just always in the right place at the right time, and certainly not as irritable to the opposition as Brad Marchand is, but ultimately this is supposed to sound like a compliment. Here's Malone. Malone tried to center it. Nobody there. DeMizio kept it in. Johnson using his body nicely to keep it in the zone. Then great touch pass by Johnson over to Burke. Burke backhander. Malone shot goes wide. And that was an effort possession by the Rebels. And now back the other way. Here comes Marquis. Marquis gets ridden off into the boards nicely after having a step. Rebels back in transition. Here's Malone. Cross-ice pass to Johnson. Shot and a save by Churro. Great glove save. And the Rebels starting to have numbers. As you can see, the Wildcats skates getting a little heavier as the game goes on. But really, win or lose for the Wildcat program, they've done what they've come here to do already by getting the W last night. A win tonight would just be icing on the cake. And now you can see them being aggressive at the blue line. Malafante, who was off the ice earlier, back on. Good news for him. Turnover in front to Malafante. One-on-one, shoots, scores. Well, Malafante made them pay for that turnover. It was a centering pass to absolutely nobody, and we talked about it earlier. When you're going to make a centering pass, especially in your own zone, you better make sure that there is an intended target. And unfortunately, Malafante was there to pick up the loose puck and poke it past Benedetto. So now we have a one-goal game once again, and really, isn't that the way it should be between these two teams who are so evenly matched? One-goal game last night, one-goal game tonight, and we have 10:35 to go to determine the winner of this one. Malafante gets announced. And, of course, there was no assist on that because of the turnover. So 3-2 with just over 10 minutes to go. There's Gallant. Gallant shoots and a stick save. Centering pass again. And Felig, who's making his first appearance in a Rebel uniform this season, was not in position to take that pass. And now the Rebels 4-on-2 again. Not a strong 4-on-2, but 4-on-2 and just positioning. Timor back for Arizona. He turns it over. Flanders, good stick work as Timor tried to redirect it behind him. Good anticipation. Shot goes wide of the Churro. I don't think Churro saw it. He was looking around a little bit after the shot. As Churro goes down to settle it down again. Now a little token pressure by UNLV. 9 minutes to go in the game. Josephson just backhands it down low. And picked up there by Alec Johnson. And a start. I'm sure the Johnson family would love it if I would just make it known if it's Alec or Max Johnson with the puck. Of course, Alec is 22, and 16 is Max. High slot area, had a spot for a second, and that shot went wide. Max Johnson had a little bit of an opening, maybe waited a tad bit long, but of course he's got a much better angle on that than I do. Good keeping. There's Burke, turnaround shot, and it looks like it's probably called a hand pass on that, I'm sure. Signals don't always go up quick or at all. So I'm sure that was what that was. So it comes back out of the zone. Demizio is going to take the draw against Lowell. Arizona wins it. Back to Timor. Timor with his head up. Gets it on over to Lowell. Timor is spilled. Good job by Demizio keeping him, pushing Timor and the puck into the offensive zone, but Arizona manages to clear. 8 minutes to go, 3-2 UNLV. And teams don't usually come in here and take two from UNLV. We have seen that. UNLV had a couple years ago, had a little bit of a stretch. Burke overskates it, loses control. Arizona able to push it back out. Lowell was hit up along the boards. Puck came loose. Arizona in control with 7.5 to go. There's Gallant. Gallant, or check that. Gentile shoots it wide. Good to see Liam on the ice, getting some ice time. 7:16 to go in the game. Chase there, good job. Chase there by Estrada, keeps it in the offensive zone. Estrada with his head up, looking for somebody down the middle. Gallant for a second, but Gallant was cross crease pass and a redirect by Estrada, who was down low again and set it like a broken record. Manning with a slapper and a save by Churro. And Churro wasn't happy because he wanted that whistle blown a little bit quicker than it was. And he chirped a little bit about it not being blown, but finally it was. And then the referee comes over to say, hey man, I think you're really good at your job. And Churro says, you're the best at yours. And we move on. Felig would take the draw. He wins it. Big draw shoots and a redirect that went just wide of Churro. And UNLV is really buzzing. This is probably their best 5 minutes of hockey this weekend. Failing to Batusov, and now a turnover. Arizona going back the other way. Here's Johansson. Johansson gets ridden into the corner. Good defensive, good defense by UNLV. I mean, every zone entry, if you can move it into the corner, that'd be great. But this one goes right down the middle. There's Litwin and a save. And we're going to, Litwin was in all alone, and then there was a pile up on the other end of the ice. And we'll see exactly what they called here. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty shot, and that's exactly what they called as they put the puck down in the middle of the ice. So this is going to get real interesting now. And Litwin is going to attempt to tie this game up, picks it up at center ice, moves to the right, makes a forehand move, then brings it back to the backhand and the save by Benedetto, and this game remains 3-2. He tried to bring it back and tried to get Benedetto sliding to the right. And Vince said, I'm going to maintain my composure. And he knew exactly what was coming and made the save. And that is a huge save. It's got to be the second or maybe even the third penalty shot against UNLV this year. But they're 5 minutes and 57 seconds away from getting this W. But a lot of time left. Hull gets it up the ice to Lowell. Lowell had it for a second, but good stick work there by UNLV. And Johnson comes in, he forces the turnover. Shively finally picks it up for Arizona. There's a 2, maybe 3-on-2 forming for UNLV. Erickson had it for a second. Pass was behind him. And that means transition back the other way. There's Malafronte. Malafronte, who made this a one-goal game a few minutes ago, had a step. Hedgecock was a half a second away from an interference call. There's Malone around the board, and Malone gets held up there. Rebels still maintain possession for a second before Arizona took it away. Backhanded back into the Arizona end. We'll have a icing call. So 4:41 to go in the second period. And I have to announce that something that's going to really hit most of you hard. Next week I will not be here, and my good friend Stephen Marsh will take over the duties. I already feel Wally pipped. If you don't know that reference, check it out. It's got a family outing to go to that promise had to be done, so for the first time in about 6 years, I'll miss a UNLV game. But anyway, you'll be in good hands, and I know a few of you are falling off your couch right now, and I apologize. It's the pain will go away with time. 4:31 to go in the third period, 3-2 UNLV. Important draw to the right of Benedetto. And once again, Malafronte is getting looked at, and now he's grabbing his knee, so at least it's not the hip issue again, but he's a little bit banged up tonight, but give him a lot of credit. Fan there by Lowell. Into the Arizona end for 1 second, but then poked back out, so UNLV had to go back and regroup. Erickson gets it in the neutral zone, but just gets it out of the area, but Arizona able to maintain possession. 3:55 to go. No flow right now and no real opportunities. Timor had an opening for a second, but he's a right-handed shot going left, so he had to give that up. Here's Timor. Timor gets hit along the boards by Estrada. Clean hit, because we still play hockey. And Estrada battling two Wildcats. Turnover, shot goes wide of Churro at a bad angle. Barry able to keep it in. There's Failing. And Estrada gets hit from behind. And I guess it's still hockey on both sides, so no call as well. Lowell pushes it into the corner, just over 3 minutes to go. 3-2 UNLV as they tried to split with the 19th ranked Wildcats from Tucson, Arizona, who have an extremely bright future as they move up the rankings. There's Failing. Failing centering pass gets deflected high, and Flanders was there, and he shot it cross ice. Nobody there to receive the pass, and it picked up there by Mazzillo. Johnson keeps it in down low, and despite the fact that Arizona needs this goal as it's still loose in front of Churro, and Churro is hugging the pipe, and nothing's going to get by him at that angle, but the Rebels give them a lot of credit. Even with a one-goal lead, they are being aggressive, and I love that style of hockey. It's nothing worse than changing what you did for 58 minutes because you want to go into a prevent defense. UNLV walks right in. Alex Johnson's trying to hit a corner, and he was wide open for a second. And you can see Arizona, who's now being forced to go side to side, is really just struggling to maintain possession as Churro makes another save. And UNLV has had possession in the Arizona end for quite some time now, and certainly the fresher of the two teams, and sometimes that's the difference between being on the road and being at home. 1:29 to go in the game, 3-2 UNLV. Now back the other way, here's Estrada. Estrada being harassed, good stick work there by Shively. Wasn't able to make a move to the front or get a centering pass off. Thrown into the corner there nicely by Estrada. And that was a good move by Erickson, who could have hit Timor but decided not to. That certainly would have been a penalty. 1 minute to go in the game. 3-2 Rebels. There's DeMizio. 2-on-3. Waiting for some help. Gets it. Rister. Save. Churro. And UNLV still applying pressure with 51.9 seconds. And now you got to think, as Arizona is able to clear it out of the zone, that Churro was make his way to the bench. So next week, UNLV is at home against number 16 Missouri State, Friday and Saturday. We have a timeout. Both games will be at 7:30. And Stephen Marsh will have the call for both games. And I'm looking at Mr. Marsh right now. I believe there's, in the spirit of Halloween, a ton of fear has overcome his face as he has just realized that I'm doing my last 50 seconds of hockey until December. But he's very animated, and he'll do a good job. And we look over at the Arizona bench. Coach Berman, who in 2019 and 20 was a Coach of the Year finalist. He's in his 8th season with the program. Of course, last year Arizona finished 8th in the country with 55-13-1 over the last 2 seasons. Of course, that does not include last season, that was canceled. So this is a good win for UNLV too. It's just with the way that the standings are, it's no matter what the outcome is, you don't want to drop 2 at home, but it's just more of an emphasis of getting those 2 W's on the road, especially when it's a coach's poll at this point in the season. 35 seconds to go. The crowd is on their feet, and they're chanting Rebels. Probably 2, maybe 3 more chances for Arizona. Churro is off the ice. Orfanos goes on to replace him. Arizona with a man advantage with 22 seconds left, trying to tie this game up, and Benedetto found one on his doorstep, and he slammed it on the. He slammed it. I know there's a reference, a door slamming reference somewhere there. Can't get it out, but anyway, it's still 3-2. Face-off will be to the right. Check that. My right. Benedetto's left. 18 and a half seconds ago. Big face-off for Arizona to win. Still a 50-50 puck, but UNLV is able to get it out of the zone. 12 seconds ago as the Rebels, as they put it back into the zone by Orfanos. 7 seconds ago out of the zone. 5 seconds, and that will probably do it as the net is wide open. One last shot by Hull. Goes wide of Benedetto. And UNLV is going home happy tonight with a 3-2 win over Arizona as they celebrate in front of Vince Benedetto, who atoned for his one loss this season, and certainly statistically, he certainly was much better than his statistics would indicate he would be coming in. Now, usually they line up and shake hands, but tonight was a little different. Arizona lined up at the blue line, and UNLV lined up at the blue line, and they all, in unison, said thank you very much for the games, and we may see you down the road, and we certainly hope so, because I like the Arizona program quite a bit. I like their coaching staff. I like their players. I think their goaltending is fantastic, and wish them nothing but the best. But UNLV gets the W tonight. They're announcing the 3 stars. Brendan Manning will get star number 3. And second star for UNLV, Vince Benedetto, will get the second star. And we'll take a guess that Alec Johnson might get the first star. And that is indeed what is going to happen. And Alec Johnson gets the number 1 star, as he should. And we expect number 1 stars for Alec Johnson most of the season. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I will see you mid-December when the Rebels come back. They'll be on the road. They'll play 2 next week. And Stephen Marsh will have the call at 7:30 from City National. I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And a happy result tonight. UNLV wins 3-2.